Peace and blessings. Today is December the 6th, 2020. Making today's math as far as the day, just six, which is equality. And equality is homeostasis, a state of balance within and without. Within meaning balance within yourself, of course, but then without meaning attempting to understand the polarity of the forces that are external to you, because they're not really external to you, because we all connected, everything. But still, when it's too dark, understanding that you could be the light, and even amidst the light, like on the sun, there are sunspots that are dark spaces. That's just this balance in anything, the yin and the yang, how there is the speck of black and the white, and the speck of white and the black, and also the total digit summation 12/6/2020 is, what is that, 13? It's 12 is 1 and 2 is 3 and 6 is 9 and 2 is 11 and 0 is 11 and 2 is 13. Making today's total digit summation, knowledge, understanding. Which again, knowledge is the root and like the building block of everything. So it is within everything, because everything is really within everything. But this knowledge, understanding, 13th degree. Knowledge, understanding. 1 plus 3 is 4, or cultural freedom. So when you have this knowledge of self, yes, and this understanding of self, which comes from the knowledge, and of course 3 minus 1 is 2. The difference in knowledge and understanding is the 2, or wisdom. So you've exercised this knowledge and gained a clear picture of reality and what has transpired. This knowledge of understanding will make it inevitable for this to be a way of life. The acquiring of knowledge, the exercising of wisdom, and the gaining of understanding, which again is the clear picture we see. Just how on the letters, so 2 days ago was A, which is Allah, arm, leg, arm, head, which is first, which is mind, which is God, connection, which is knowledge. And then 2 is born, or B is born, which is the second letter, which is wisdom, which is also the womb, or how you make born. And then 3 will be understanding, but the third letter is also C, which means CEE, which is SEEE, or SEE, sorry, not 3 E's. But the reason it is spelled with a C is because it is the third principle, the understanding. And it is not to see with the eyes, but to see with the mind. To have a clear picture that you can see in your mind of what has transpired, this understanding that we gain of self and the universe and our relationship to it, because we are it. That is the equality of balance in the without and the within, but also having balance in the without and having balance in the within, if that makes any sense. And also, this equality, 6, is made up of, if you take knowledge, 1, wisdom, 2, understanding, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 6. 1, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. Or just making understanding, which in itself is knowledge, wisdom, understood, which in itself is knowledge, wisdom. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 make 6, 3 and 3 make 6. But again, understanding in its truest essence is love. So this the total digit summation being knowledge, understanding, or 13 could also be to know love, which again will make that the way of life or culture, which would be one of love, one of equality, one of freedom, which is the ability to think for oneself and to find your own equality, your own balance, your own knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, your own trinity, and whatever that means for you. When it is truly aligned with your true self, if we all one, then we all, it should be some overlap. I'm not saying we're not going to create the same exact realities, but if love is the through line between everyone and we are all coming from this truth, which yesterday's number was 5, which was power, and that's power comes from the truth. If we are all under this same truth, that we have knowledge of God's self, we exercise this with discernment in the decisions that we make every day, to gain an understanding or a deeper sense of what is reality, and also a deeper sense of love for self, and to know that since we are God's self, everything is God. So it's not just a selfish thing, it's also selfless in itself. Selfless in itself. That's it, really. Equality, equilibrium, balance, understanding that you're going to have your highs and your lows. So not to let the highs get you too high and not to let the lows get you too low, because, always know the next is coming. That is the cipher or cycle or wave of life. Because again, if you I'll do, because I have, no, my son drew a picture on the whiteboard. I don't want to erase it. But if you take a circle and split it on the equator, yeah, or cut one side and then twist the bottom or the top to go the other way, the circle is also a wave, a sine wave or a cosine wave, depending on, whether the top or the bottom is starting first. But again, they just go repeating back and forth. There's really no difference in the sine and the cosine. Only that difference is the measurement or the viewpoint of the person who is taking the measurement. Like, which side do you want to look from? Because you can always look from both sides, which is the cosine and the sine. Also, a lot of people have been reaching out. Again, not a lot. Let me stop saying that. But people have been reaching out, and it's really, really appreciated, and warranted, and I don't know. I try my best to reciprocate, or to receive, to meet the reaching out with reception. So please continue to reach out. Hopefully I don't appear to be unapproachable. But I'm not really necessarily, I'm a teacher because we are all teachers, but we are also all students. So the reason I consider myself not to be a teacher, because I don't think I'm on a different level or like a higher level. I believe it's more of your thing, and I'm just further along, not higher up. And I definitely don't, I'm fine with passing the baton. That's the whole purpose of what I'm doing with pouring these righteous teachings. And I'm pretty much doing everything for free as far as spreading the knowledge. So if you do decide, I don't know, that you want to contribute or support, I do have apparel, pourrighteousteachings.com. It is linked through storefrontier.com. If you go to my website, you'll be able to find the apparel there. I do also have some shoes that I designed through aliveshoes.com. That's also on the website. If you are just somebody who wants to build, but for whatever reason you would rather not do it in the comments, which is really what I prefer, to give the engagement, so that way when the next person comes, they might have the same question you had, and it's in the comments, and maybe even they'll chime in like, oh, I thought that too, but what about this? Or, let's open the dialogue. Let's build. This is a perpetual process, this building, coming to this knowledge. It's only the beginning. And there really is no one way to come to it or one way to go through it. So whatever works for you, hopefully I can be of some help. And, if you feel like I could too, definitely please feel free to reach out whichever way you feel the most comfortable. Get outside today. I know it's kind of cold, but the sun is still shining up there. Get yourself some vitamin D, some water, not like real vitamin D, like from the sun, I mean. I don't know. The point of life is to live, so just make sure you're always living. Even when things get dark, I don't know, you're really God. So if it's looking dark, check yourself and see, what hand you played in this darkness that has come among you, because it's really in you. If it's outside and around you, it's in you too. This is the equality that today is reminding us of, and also the knowledge of understanding, being a way of life. Meaning, if you have the knowledge and you're not applying it right, then that will be your wisdom will not be wisdom, it will be foolish, and your understanding will not be understanding, it'll be a misunderstanding, and therefore your way of life will not be close to freedom. You will not be mentally free to create and build as you wish. You will look at yourself as a victim because you are a prisoner in your own mind with your own bars that you constructed, or maybe somebody else helped you construct it, or life, or your culture, or traditions, or family, or upbringing, or I don't know, because there are external forces that are anti this knowledge, that are anti-self, that want you to depend on the group think and the emotions of others, because we are all connected. That's why all of those things work too. But again, that is from the misunderstanding, and to understanding that they are opposed, and that you can have understanding and misunderstanding, wisdom and foolishness, ignorance and knowledge. You then have to pick a side, and you can't flip-flop back and forth. You have to be true to one side, otherwise you won't be able to have the balance. Or to be in the middle and understand that they both are there, so that way you're not, like I say, too deep in the darkness or too up in the light. We are in the center. The heart chakra is love. The love is real, as my sister, I am Brittany Gale on IG would say. Peace, blessings, all that good stuff.